The Fool, a novel written by hiermonk Savatie Bastovoi, based on the events described in the life of Saint Simeon, the Holy Fool for Christ of Edessa, originally composed by Bishop Leontius of Neapolis in Cyprus, and later included in the collection The Lives of the Saints by Saint Simeon Metaphrastes. Chapter 4. The fool remained near the church, and before long he became well known among the beggars. His ever-cheerful face and the silly jokes he told endeared him to everyone. He especially delighted the crowd of beggars when he mimicked others. Whenever someone arrived at church well-dressed, the fool would strut about arrogantly and speak in a loud voice, uttering inappropriate remarks as though he could hear the person's thoughts. For this he was often beaten by the servants, yet he remained steadfast in his antics. There was quite a stir when the fool, one day when the round-faced deacon was officiating, began wandering through the church with his right hand raised, holding the edge of his tunic as though it were an orarion, all the while singing, "In peace let us again pray to the Lord. If the devils help me by possessing another wealthy woman, I shall buy myself the episcopal throne." As a result of this jest, which quickly spread throughout the town, and even found its way into the routines of circus performers at the market, the fool was no longer allowed to enter the church on days when the deacon was officiating. Yet he never showed the slightest hint of sorrow. Instead, he would remain on the church steps singing alone and offering fragrant incense. At other times, he would climb atop a chest and begin to preach. The beggars delighted in the presence of the mad monk, especially because of his gullibility, which allowed them to deceive him as they pleased. For instance, when someone approached and struck him, the fool would immediately begin shouting and retaliate by hurling pies, chunks of meat, and even coins at his attacker. In this peculiar way, he would unwittingly distribute his daily earnings among his brethren. With his growing fame, nearly everyone began offering him more generous alms. They did so also because they were always rewarded with a joke or witty remark that lifted their spirits. Many observed that after jesting with the fool, their troubles and sorrows seemed to melt away. Some even claimed that beneath his humor lay counsel worth heeding, and that by following his just-laden wisdom, a person had escaped grave misfortune. Word spread that the fool possessed the gift of seeing into the depths of people's souls, or foretelling future events, and that he had healed a poor child left for dead on a secluded street after being beaten by beggars. Others, however, insisted he was possessed, having seen him wandering naked through the city. At last, the round-faced deacon declared in a sermon that this monk was not only bereft of reason and a vessel for the devil's voice, but that he also secretly frequented houses of debauchery, squandering the hard-earned money given him by God-fearing Christians. The greatest scandal erupted when the mother of the healed girl, a lady of high society, after overcoming her initial joy at her daughter's recovery and growing accustomed to seeing her restored to health, began to regret the money she had spent. Urged on by one of her servants and mocked in the marketplace for squandering her wealth, she declared on one occasion that she would sue the deceitful deacon and demand her money back. "Well, if he claims to be such a great miracle worker, why don't we bring another girl possessed by a devil and see him heal her before everyone? And if he fails, it will mean he did not heal my daughter at all, and that the miracle occurred naturally. The scandal continued to escalate, owing to the lady's position as a principal benefactor of the church and her regular dinners with the bishop. Certain clerics claimed they had overheard people at the episcopate saying that the deacon should not have accepted all the money, despite the lady's promise to donate it in gratitude for her immense suffering. According to them, the sum ought to have been directed to the episcopate's treasury and used for the construction of a new church. This enraged the deacon so deeply that he resolved to forbid the beggars from gathering in front of the church. Moreover, he determined to punish the fool severely, holding him solely responsible for the danger he now faced. His anger flared all the more when he heard the rumor that the fool was a hermit credited with driving out the demon and performing countless other miracles throughout the city. Having gathered several witnesses, the most fervent among them being the dancer who had caused such an uproar with her tales, they proceeded to accuse the fool of practicing witchcraft. The deacon, together with several readers and cantors who had sided with him in hopes of financial reward, locked the fool in the church crypt, pretending to perform an exorcism to rid him of the evil spirit. When the devil stubbornly refused to depart, the deacon and the readers beat the unfortunate fool so severely that he was scarcely recognizable. Crossing themselves repeatedly and filling the chamber with incense, the deacon ordered all present to reveal nothing of what had occurred. Fearing that the fool might die within the church walls, they carried him to a secluded back street, intending to place the blame on the beggars should he succumb to his injuries.